Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. Tonight we are back with a brand new review for The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 6, Episode 4. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade. If you are back for a second or third time, or you come back to watch The Real Housewives of Potomac reviews, but you have not yet subscribed, please do not hesitate to do so right now. Hold on, let me give you a second. All right, y'all, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, Gizelle shows up in her Adidas tracksuit and her pre-curled wig to do a photo shoot for her and Robin's Sleepy Time podcast. Now, it's not exactly called Sleepy Time Podcast. It's actually called Reasonably Shady. But to me, I feel like these heifers gonna put me to sleep, so I put the zhuzh on it that needed to be given. She said, they did some lives during the pandemic and quarantine and everything, and people were saying, oh my God, you two need a podcast. Child, people like to lie just so they can get y'all attention. Like, people gonna say anything, child. They will say anything. She said her and Robin's podcast is called Reasonably Shady. Y'all tuning in? And child, I know I'm not, but I just want to know if y'all tuning in. Okay, put down in the comments if you're gonna give a listen to the Green-Eyed Bandits talk and talk and talk. Okay, what do they really have to say, child? So then she sits down in the chair, and honey, I was thinking it was to get those curls combed out, but it was to talk more about Jamal and this fake reason they broke up. She starts telling Cal that her and Jamal can't make it in the pandemic. Listen to me. After last year's binder shenanigans and his phone number being read all up and through that reunion, honey, for Jizzy, the pandemic could not have come soon enough. Baby, that was a blessing for her to get that pandemic. Do you hear me? But lady, listen to me. Nobody is buying it. Okay? Nobody. She's like, you can't have a long distance relationship in a pandemic. Ma'am. You definitely can have a relationship in the pandemic, honey. It's literally the same thing, honey. The only difference is he's bored in the house and he's in the house bored. That is the only difference, okay? Y'all still didn't see each other every day. You weren't in his face 24 hours a day. He was living in your phone, honey. You said that last episode. So I'm trying to figure out what was really the difference. Girl. Basically, he was really in the phone, just like she said. And when you couldn't go to Atlanta, you decided that the relationship was over, honey. And he definitely wasn't coming to Potomac or wherever the West Wing is located, child. It should have been over because he didn't quarantine with y'all. You have his children. It's not like he's some random and he's not allowed to be in the house with y'all for months on end. Y'all were in a relationship, air quotes, and his daughters are there. So why not quarantine with you? Child, that ain't make no sense, but honey, whatever. Cal is like, well, yeah, you can if y'all can communicate. She's like, well, the little line she likes to recite. I need him 8 minutes down the road, not 8 states away. Well, girl, just keep repeating it until you believe it. Moving forward, Robin gonna say, well, I think the breakup would have happened, but the pandemic just made it more clear. Honey, not you always believing it wouldn't work. Child, that is shady. Child, Robin is really giving Gizelle some shade all up and through these confessionals this season. Robin, honey, I'm shocked. So after she realized Cal wasn't believing the lies, she moved on, child. So then she said, Grace is getting her permit and she failed twice, so she's embarrassing the Bryant name. Oh, okay, so it's her, not her whorish daddy or her mean mama. Oh, okay, girl, got it. So then she starts talking to Cal about Mia's clitoris. Girl, it's given very much obsessed and deflection at this point. Like, why are you still talking about this woman's lady bits? Then she gets up with them same curls. Honey, lady, if you don't get those curls combed out, honey, what was the reason you sat in the chair? What was the reason? Honey, in my Cardi B voice. Like, what? Why did you sit down in that chair? He didn't do nothing. So then Robin sits down when she gets up and they started talking about Mia and getting together with her, right? So Gizelle said, well, let me just send Mia a text. So the text said, hey, girl, we would like for you to get together with me and Robin without Karen for drinks. See, you should have left out that part about without Karen because it sounded shady or like you had some kind of ulterior motive. You could have said, hey, me and Robin want to get to know you outside of the other ladies. So that way it doesn't sound like, I'm shading your little friend because Mia has a right to be loyal as well. I mean, y'all talked about it being a flip-flopper. Well, Wendy did. So I guess she's trying to have Karen's back. And child, it's just all a mess. Okay, so y'all just should have worded it a different way. And it wouldn't have sounded so shady because you singled her out. So that's what made it sound bad. So when Robin got up, she looked cute though. But Gizelle and her uncombed curls, honey, they took the picture anyway. Over in the next scene, Ashley and Michael are out on the town outside of the Outback restaurant or whatever that little Australian restaurant that is that they used to have, child, that they closed down. They're out having a nice dinner, and Ashley's like, you know, him taking me out is just making me fall in love all over again because there's been no intimacy and he hasn't skipped a beat. So basically him taking her out for Brussels sprouts and a Caesar salad is really getting her going. Ciao. So they sit down and Michael says he wants to make movies. Honey, what kind of movies? Huh? Michael, let me find out. We know how you like to do. Let me find out you making movies that belong on something that rhymes with corn grub. Okay? And I'm going to leave that there, allegedly. She said, you know, she's a bit skeptical about him doing something else right now because she's pregnant. Girl, let Michael have a hobby, honey. Keep him out of trouble. Karen is at home making some lamb chops and Raven FaceTimed her, right? Karen tells us that she's living in New York and she's an executive at her first corporate job. Baby, the mama's gonna put some stank on a job title if they don't do nothing else. Honey, you could be bagging groceries. Yes, my son is the liaison for Kroger. Yes, works with a lot of different types of things. Yes, organic, all organic. No, dang all well, he's a bagger. Child ain't got time. But baby, that's a mother's love, honey. And you know what I was thinking? This is the first season I have ever seen Karen cook anything. I ain't never seen Karen cook. So she's telling Raven that she's named an ambassador back at home. And then they show a little flashback of that time when she went on a trip with, I think it was Gizelle and Candice. Or it might have been Gizelle and Wendy. It was somebody, but they took a trip to her hometown. And, you know, when she had that little parade and whatnot. So they did a little flashback to that. And then she tells Raven to make sure that she hints to Ray to get her a bigger diamond. Honey, I know that's right. Get the kids to do the dirty work. After all that pretending, honey, and pretending to cook, Karen burnt that fish smooth up. All the way burnt up. Moving forward, Mia shows up to one of her facilities and she's making sure everything is everything. She's looking through the system and notices that her name is in parentheses. So she's like, why is my name in parentheses? The girl said, oh, well, there's another Mia Thornton in here. And she's like, oh, well, we don't know her. Oh, child. So then she gets a FaceTime from her son about taking him to practice, but she has too many meetings, so she can't. So she asks G to do it for her, right? He said, listen, babe, not to hurt your feelings, but this is like the third time that you've done that. You said that you would take him and then you turn around and you can't. And she's like, well, should I just cancel my meetings? He's like, I'm not telling you to do that. But what I'm telling you is you need to figure out how to have time for a work-life balance. See, that's the only thing about having so much on your plate and actually being a boss and not just saying you're a boss. You actually have to be spread so thin. So some things get neglected. And it's really hard when you have kids, because your children, they need you. You know, there's all types of special events. There's after school things. There are, you know, things that parents, just you being there in general and being present. I see a lot of people struggle with that. Even on Real Housewives of Atlanta, we see Candy and she's constantly being torn into 15 different directions because she wants to be an actress and a mogul. Honey, she just wants to be all that she can be, honey, without being in the army. So, I mean, it takes a lot of work. Over in the next scene, Robin meets up with her trainer and Ascala shows up in her fur, honey, hopefully faux fur. And Wendy in her BBL and bubble jacket, they show up as well. And she said Robin has her out in the cold and her silicone gonna freeze. Let me tell y'all something. I'm trying not to holler in y'all ear through this review. But baby, when she said that, when I was watching this in real time, honey, I hollered. I said, not your silicone gonna freeze. Child, well, at least you know, honey, and you ain't afraid to say. So they do this little workout, and after they do that, they take a little walk, and Candace calls. And she's like, well, you know, I sold the condo, and so now we're living in our new home, but I want to have this peace out house party because she's been there since her early 20s. She says she wants all the girls to come. So Robin was like, well, Ascala, what did you think about the pamper party? Ascala was like, well, I mean, it was cool, but as far as Mia, I'm going to call her Messy Mia. Okay, Ascala, now look here, honey. Okay, look here. I like you, but you going to have to pipe down, honey. You don't know Mia. You don't know her at all, okay? Over at Mia's penthouse in the sky, Karen and her Versace shirt, they show up and they start talking, right? So Karen is like, yeah, Gizelle likes to say I don't have any friends, but I'm pretty much cool with all the girls. Karen, honey, I'm not too sure, okay? Let's see here. Let's run it down. You and Gizelle, okay. Robin, she's an extension of Gizelle, so it's a hell no for her as well. Candace is still stuck in the past when you called HR and wrote that letter, and then you were on Monique's side, so she's a no, okay? She's going to have to go with a no. A scholar seems like she will be a follower, so it may be a no on that end as well. So, girl, I'm not too sure. Now, Grand Dame, I like you, but I just got to keep it real, honey. I'm not too sure if you're cool with all the girls. So Karen is like, yeah, Robin does Gizelle's bidding. She's all up her bush. Oh my God, y'all. We talking about bushes and clits and, oh Lord. Back on the walk, Robin is telling the girls about the text that they sent to Mia, right? So Robin is like, yeah, we wanted to get to know Mia, so we sent Mia a text. They work as a group, okay? So Robin reads what Mia said, but at the same time, Mia is telling Karen about the text. So she said, Gizelle and Robin wanted me to go to lunch and with them, but they said that you couldn't come. So Mia read what she said. And she said that the text said, hi, Mia. Me and Robin are talking and we would love to get together with you for drinks without Karen. So Karen kind of cackled a little bit because she's like, well, why would they isolate me? That's what she's thinking. Mia is telling it at the same time, and she finishes it by saying, would you like me to connect you with my assistant to pencil you in this week? Honey, rude. That was rude. Back over with Robin, she reads Mia's reply. It says, hi, Gizelle, unless you want to discuss business, there's nothing I have time to talk to you about. And honey, I'm doing air quotes. I said, oh, child, honey, the girls is arguing. Mia basically felt Gizelle was trying to sun her, okay, and tell her what she was and what not going to do, okay, and she is a boss, and she lets us know every chance she gets. Robin pipes up and says, I was a little bit mad that she responded like that. I was a bit taken aback. So I said, I'm taken aback by your rude response. Was something done to you that I was not aware of? The response was rude, but Robin, unless it was a group text, why are you saying anything? Okay. Robin was like, we were coming from a good place. Honey, now I don't trust y'all. And I don't blame her for not trusting you, because you and Gizelle always got some up y'all's sleeve. I have never just seen you gravitate to someone and just be normal. Even when Gizelle went walking with Wendy last season, I thought, okay, she's liking Wendy. They're both sorors. Okay, got it. But then she started saying shady stuff about Karen. So that's the way that you two operate. So, to me, I would be a little bit skeptical as well. So Mia said that she actually responded to Robin at Gizelle. Considering my message was directed to you, forgive me if you think I'm being rude. I'm just direct. Honey, not at Gizelle. Baby, not the at like we on Twitter. Baby, Mia is funny. And listen to me. This is why you call people, okay? You don't text them. You call so that nothing can be misconstrued. Moving forward, Candace goes to the studio to drop some beats, and Chris is at a catering job, so he couldn't be there. Well, honey, at least he's working. So then she starts singing her song. Let me tell y'all something. Candice actually is making some music I would listen to, because that new song, I think it's called Turn Around and Go Back or something like that, or Get in the Car and Go Back and Get Some More or something. It's got something about going back and getting some more zhuzh, okay? When your man put it down and then you fall in love. Shout out to Brandy. I really like that song. Okay, I think it's called Taking Me Back or Run More Time. Child, don't give me the line, but I love the song. Y'all can look it up. It's a new release. And she said she was supposed to sign to a label, but now she's independent. I know that's right, girl. Doing it for yourself with your own coin. She said she's doing a freshman album, and she wants them to put some respect on her name. Over in the other scene, Gizelle and Grace and the twins, they're going for Grace to take her permit test. Now listen, I feel like if Gizelle would have given us more of her and her girls, I may be a little bit more fond of her, because the messy side of her I don't like. But when I see her with her girls and, doing family things, I actually take a liking to her. And then she's a Virgo like me, so I thought I was going to like her. But honey, I guess all of us don't get along, honey. But anyway, so that's just a side note. She's going to for Grace to take her permit test, right? So she walks Grace in. Grace is nervous AF, and the twins in the car like, she better pass. It's going to be an embarrassment. I'm like, I wish y'all stop saying that. It is not going to be an embarrassment if she does not pass this permit test. Pipe down, honey. Y'all been hanging with your mama too long. So Gizelle talking about Jamal has the bad driving DNA, but she wished that she could take her down there if he was living down the street, again with the 8 minutes away, so that he could teach her. But then again, he's a poor driver because people drive him, honey, in the car and into the arms of another woman. But that's neither here nor there. Moving forward, Grace comes out, quiet as a church mouse, honey. Shout out to Jamal. And she don't want to talk. They're like, did you pass? Nothing. So how many did you miss? Nothing. So what happened? Nothing. I'm like, girl, the girl don't want to talk. She's not saying anything. Gizelle trying to be supportive because, you know, they said she's not very good with the emotional support, but she doesn't really know what to say. Listen to me. Some people just aren't good test takers. I see it all the time. But the key is this. I learned a long time ago. I'm a great test taker. Okay. I love taking tests. That's my thing. I love the pressure of it all. I just love it. And I have a photographic memory. So I can literally look at something or hear something and I can repeat it back to you verbatim without needing any notes or anything else. But that's just me. Some people are not that way. So this is what you should do. Okay. And this is for anybody that's out there that may be listening that has a test coming up. Honey, it could be a test for anything. But this is what I do. The key is at study time to write your study guide in the form of questions. So instead of knowing you need to be 3 car lengths away, I'm just giving an example, you write yourself a question and then you answer it. So instead of your study guide just being a bunch of facts, it's a bunch of questions. So when you see it in the form of a question, it's easier to answer. So for example, you know that it's 3 car lengths away. Instead of that, you would write yourself a question and it would say, how many car lengths away do I need to be? And the answer would be 3. But that's just an example. So I feel like eventually she'll get it. You know what I'm saying? It's just all about the way that you set yourself up and prepare yourself for the test. And what y'all constantly calling her an embarrassment if she fails, honey, that's too much pressure. Child, pipe down. Honey, we'll see when it's y'all's turn. Moving forward. Candace is setting up for the pajama jammy jam and all the girls about to get ready to arrive. And she's like, you know, it's bittersweet because it's so many memories in this house. So Karen shows up first. So the rule is that you have to enter by taking a fireball shot. Karen takes a swig, honey, but not much because she know you heifers gonna talk. Robin walks in and Karen trying to make small talk. Talking about, how are you? How's Juan? Okay. And Robin looking at her like, girl gone. Karen's like, yeah, so what's going on with the wedding? Karen, that lady don't want to talk to you. Last time you saw her, you said she didn't even have a real relationship. Now you want to sit up and have a conversation. Child, Karen is nuts. Karen is like, so how's the wedding? Robin said, it's going great. Karen was like, well, why don't y'all just go to a justice of the peace? Robin said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to shortchange my wedding due to COVID. And let me tell you something, I agree. Because I feel like it's selfish to try to have a wedding in the middle of COVID. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree, but I'm just saying that's how I feel about it. So Karen was like, well, you know, people still having weddings, Robin. So I just feel like that's some bull. Okay, well, Karen, she don't want to do it, okay? So then Robin said, if Karen wants to have a super spreader event to prove to everyone she loves Ray's peen, then that's on her. Child, I am not about to be bothered with I'm not about to be bothered with these heifers. But let me tell you something, Robin. It's just a side note. You in this yellow, in this confessional, yes to the dress. Okay? I'm loving it. I'm loving the hair all the way down to the ensemble. Love, love, love. Gizelle in her robe show up. She's like, oh, the liar and the hater is here. Gizelle, come on in and sit down, baby. Please don't suck all the air out of the room, honey. We haven't even gotten started yet. So Karen is like, well, everybody knows who the hater is. She just showed up in her psychedelic robe and it's fake. Leave Karen the hell alone. Leave that lady alone, child. Not Karen, y'all. Do y'all remember when Gizelle said Karen was wearing Indy instead of Fendi? Remember she had that outfit on and the F was missing and Karen said she got it altered? So when she called Giselle's robe fake, that's all I could think about. I said, oh, child, not the pot calling the kettle, calling the pot, calling the kettle. Karen is like, have you talked to Ashley? Because they're all just sitting around, right? So then Candace gonna say, oh, I forgot to invite her. Girl, please. She's like, well, she wasn't gonna come, but I actually forgot to text her. How do you forget to include her in a group text, and you've been cast members for a few years now. Girl, please. Gizelle was like, girl, you know you did that on purpose, honey, and did. Candace said, she's not going to come anyway. As she didn't want to be here, her cervix is probably dilating right this second. Baby, Candace going to hold a grudge if she don't do nothing else. So then Wendy shows up. She looks amazing, got on a little lingerie. You know what? I was looking at Wendy. Wendy has porn star boobs. I thought they were going to settle a little bit, but they didn't. They sitting up still, big and round. They in a complete circle. They don't look real and natural is what I'm saying. They look good, but those are definitely porn star boobs. But anyway, so she shows up in her lingerie looking nice, and she's like, is Karen here? Because, Candace gives her a fireball shot. She's like, because she's the queen of the fireball shots. Girl, don't be shady, okay? Don't be shady, because you just accused me of being a flip-flopper. Now, you was just over there asking Miss Fireball for some advice on these candles that you selling. So don't do that. Just get on in, take the shot, and hush your mouth up. And this is my thing. Why is everybody else getting these tiny shot glasses, but Karen got a huge glass? Candace, let me find out you're trying to set up for the okie doke. Honey, I peeped that. I'm like, she got a real big glass, but then the rest of them got cute little tiny shot glasses. Child, you got to be careful with these heifers. They'll set you up in a minute. A scholar shows up looking fabulous. She takes her shot. Candace was like, so we're just waiting on Mia. So Wendy was like, well, wherever she is, maybe she should stay there. Wendy, calm down. Robin is like, her text was rude. Karen said, well, I talked to her. Okay. And she basically said, you said, don't bring me. Gizelle said, I said without Karen because I already know you. I'm trying to get to know her. Karen said, but my name shouldn't have been in the text. So then Gizelle was like, but you brought her to the group. So they're arguing back and forth. A scholar said, maybe she was intimidated. Honey, pipe down, honey. She's far from intimidated. I mean, I know you haven't really been in the same room with Mia, honey, but she's definitely not intimidated by them. Trust me. So Mia finally does show up, and Karen was like, we were just talking about the text. Lady couldn't even get in the dough good. I said, oh, child. Well, let's get into it if we're going to get into it then. So Karen is like, look, we realize that we've come to the conclusion that the wording was wrong on both parts. Gizelle was like, no, the wording was fine on my part. She was like, well, grown women don't say don't bring Karen. Gizelle said grown women say who they will and who they cannot bring. I made the invite list, period. Oh, child. Everybody shut up, okay? You were rude in saying don't bring Karen because we all know that was a dig at Karen. Okay, ain't nobody stupid. Okay, Mia might say little white lies and she's halfway confused and don't know her age, but she's not a dummy. Okay, and on the flip side, Mia, please stop letting everybody know that you are a boss and a businesswoman. We got it. Cool. Child, and don't be arguing down in my comments because I do not want to hear Mia was right, Gizelle was right. I don't give up. Child, I don't care. All these heifers do is argue about stupid stuff. So this is my thing. Mia was on high alert because she probably felt it was going to be some bull crap, okay? But her response was a bit condescending. I'm not going to take that. Even if it is Gizelle, it was rude. Mia said, well, what I said was a bit aggressive, but I'm not going to allow people to dictate what I do. So then a scholar pipes up, child. And she's like, there's a whole lot of delusion going on. Girl, what is your beef? What happened to praying and whatnot? Girl, pipe down, honey, speaking your speech all willy-nilly. A scholar was like, it was rude. Honey, she just apologized. Were you present? Girl, goodbye. So Mia said, so how many businesses do you have? Oh, okay, I got it now. I got it. That's why Wendy don't like Mia. They're the same person. Wendy and her several degrees and Mia and her several businesses. Honey, that's why y'all don't like each other. Y'all the exact same person. This was you last season. So then Robin starts cussing. Yeah, what does it have got to do with the MF and businesses you got? I'm like, Robin, please, honey. Ooh, child. Robin, calm down, honey, and wake up before 2 o'clock. The girls are fussing, and Candice sees it and gets on top of the countertop and because they're getting out of control. And she's like, let me redirect these heifers because they acting up and all this energy is all up in my space. So then she's like, well, let's play Prosecco Pong. So they start playing this little game. While they're playing, Mia told Karen, you know what, I'm going to try to go over here and make amends. So Mia goes over to Gizelle and she says, look, I think we got off on the wrong foot. She said, no, we didn't. I was extremely nice to you. She said, okay, I think I got off on the wrong foot. Now, I heard her say that, but Gizelle was just trying to pipe up, child. She's like, out of the kindness of my heart, I wanted to get to know you. Well, honey, I don't know about all that. You putting too much zhuzh on it, okay? Not out of the kindness of your heart. Girl, please. She was like, I will try to be better with my delivery. Gizelle said, I never want you to send me that again. Or what? Girl, what you gonna do? Nothing. Mia said, okay, noted. Baby, Mia was so graceful in that moment because I would have cussed Gizelle all the way out. Girl, please. I came over here to apologize to you and you gonna try to pipe up on me? Honey, we can get it popping. But that's just me. Lady, the woman apologized, okay? You've been told worse. So Candace decides Never Have I Ever will be a good game to play. Why? I have no idea. This game is to get into people's business, okay? Every time they play Never Have I Ever, it's to be nosy. No, so then the first question was from Gizelle. She said, never have I ever taken ecstasy. Karen and Wendy, they took a drink. And then they got confused. And I'm like, girl, what are y'all doing? Now, Candace explained the game before they started playing. Wendy, let me find out you and Karen need to have random drug tests. It's just jokes, y'all. It is just jokes. I'm just kidding, honey. I don't want nobody to get, well, why would you say that? It's just a joke, honey. But I'm trying to understand how you and your 4 degrees do not know the premise of the game. The premise is to take a shot if you have done that thing. The person who is speaking has not done that thing. Everybody knows how this game goes, honey. Probably my 6-year-old can play that game. So then the next question was, never have I ever had my clit done. That's what Candace said. Mia was like, I won, pick me. I just love it. I love it. She's like, well, the professional term for it is vaginal rejuvenation. Girl, that is vagine tightening. That's not the clit, child. She's like, well, I should have said vagina. Okay. Sometimes Mia acts like an airhead. I just gotta say it, honey. She acts real airheadish. Like, it's just, like, it's really crazy. Wendy said, did she not take anatomy class? Honey, I don't think so. Robin said, I don't know how you get clit done out of a clitorotomy. Not a clitorotomy. Girl, shut up. Robin, shut up. Honey, Mia is off. She honest, but she off. Then they said, never have I ever had a threesome. Mia took a drink. Wendy was like, with your husband? She said, yeah. She said, with another woman? She said, yeah. She said, listen, I just wanted to watch. I was just sipping champagne and sitting back and watching them get it popping. Now, Mia, honey, I know you like to lie a little bit. So you probably definitely were involved, okay? Because then you'll come back and say you didn't understand what they meant by threesome, okay? And do you know what a threesome is? Because, child, sometimes your verbiage is usually wrong. So she probably thinks a threesome is her, G, and Pornhub. Honey, I'm not sure. But you got to be real careful when you're talking to me. You got to come to her with precise questions because she doesn't even know how old she is at this point. Especially after she said she had her clit done and it was a vaginal rejuvenation. Girl, Cynthia over on Real Housewives of Atlanta had that done and they aired it and everything. But I'm glad it's clear now, honey, so Gizelle can stop talking about it to everybody that she meets. Child. She's like, well, one thing about me, I'm very open and I'm transparent. Wendy said, well, the only threesome that is going to be happening with me and my dark chocolate husband is me, him, and my wig. Oh, Wendy, we know, honey. Trust me. Oh, we know. That's why you got that body redone so you can make him feel like he cheating. We got it. Switch my weave, make him feel like he cheating. We got it, Wendy. Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. So then Wendy said, so Mia's the only one that had a threesome? Honey, I think some of y'all lying. I really do. So then Candice said, well, if Ashley were here, she would drink. And so Mia said, well, where is Ashley? Then all of a sudden, speaking of Ashley, we go to Ashley's scene and her water is broken. So it's time to go to the hospital. She's all emotional because she won't see Dean for a few days. And when she does come back, it's going to be with a brand new baby. He's not going to be the only one. And then she gets in the car with Michael and is off to the hospital. Prayers for a safe and happy delivery. And that was the end of the episode. You tell me what you thought about the episode. Comment down below. Do you think Gizelle was wrong? Do you think Mia was wrong? Don't y'all fuss and fight in these comments because we are one big happy opinionated family over here. Please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.